Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm drinking some coffee right now. And here's what I'm looking at for today. First, you should know that tonight is the Auburn-Mississippi State game, and I will be cooking wings and ribs tonight for my son. And here's the problem that I have. I've told you before, this is one of the worst game days of the year for me for college football, and the reason is I went to Auburn, and my wife's dad played at Mississippi State. And so her entire family is more or less against me today. And it's very awkward because if Auburn wins, and I do believe they'll win, but if they win, I can hardly even have a conversation with my wife because it's almost like she's mad at me just because my team won and her dad's team did not win. So it's a really awkward situation. And she also went to Georgia, and so she has a particular hate for Auburn. And so, but to make matters worse, my 13-year-old is a traitor to his father and has decided that he is a Mississippi State fan and not an Auburn fan. So I will have to watch this game with him, and he's going to literally cheer against his dad's team. And that's not cool. But I'm going to make him wings and ribs anyway. All right, enough of that. Moving along, Sergeant Obi-Wan sent me this. Now, remember, Sergeant Obi-Wan is he's one of two of the official Jedi Knights of the Digital Asset Investor channel, and I think that's important. He sent me this. Shocker. This is from Dutch XRP. Let me see if I follow this person. Yeah, I do. Okay. This is a new Wise Crypto ratings. They've ranked Ripple or XRP at the very top of their rating system. Now, the way they've rated things seems to be more in line with the way that you would think digital assets would be rated. Putting VeChain and Cardano right there at the top, I think that's pretty smart. And to have XRP far and away ranked the best, that, of course, makes total sense. And to have Bitcoin somewhere down here, maybe even further down the list, makes sense too. Now, depends on how your ratings, what you're rating. If you're rating on where I think these investments will go over the next year or two, I would push Bitcoin towards the top just because I think a lot of Wall Street and all has adopted Bitcoin as being one of the ones that they're going to take under their wing. And I think it's going to be in a lot of funds and ETFs and all of that as things go forward. But in terms of the greatest digital assets that have ever been created, XRP is number one, and then you can put all the others behind it. Okay, so that's that. Let's go along. Brumdog Millionaire sent me this, and this is very interesting right here. This is from, let me see if I follow this person, Rockefeller Jr., Mr. Stephen Overton, the Regional Vice President, EMEA of Ripple. Ripple now has 250 customers. This is a piece of video I had not seen. I don't know when it is from. It doesn't say here. But this guy, in the past, we've heard from Brad Garlinghouse and others that Ripple has around 200 customers. But now apparently they have around 250 plus customers. And I think he's in a room full of people from India, which is a good thing as well. All right. So now we know Ripple has over 250 customers. Jaquito McPhee at Jaquito McPhee sent me this. And this is a tweet from David Schwartz. Apparently, this girl, Jemima Kelly, had written an article for Financial Times. I think that's what that is. Blockchain disillusionment descends on financial services. And then David Schwartz comes in and he says, I agree with her that many tried to use blockchain like a hammer in search of a nail. But it is denying reality to say blockchain has made no discernible impact. Our customers say otherwise. And he referred this link to, he referred her to this link where it shows Ripple's customers and it shows gives some of their quotes about how much they like Ripple and blockchain and all this. Look at who some of their customers are. They've got American Express on here, PNC, SBI Remit, Instarim. So it's pretty plain what Ripple's customers think. But I wanted to complete one more thought here about what David Schwartz is saying. This reminds me of back during the dot-com bubble. You went through a period where people would put .com on the end of their name, and therefore their stock price would fly through the roof and that kind of thing. The same kind of thing happened over the last year with my dad's calling me. Hold on a second. You know what? I've never answered the phone with him while I was doing a video, so I'm going to tell him now. Dad, before you say anything, I want to let you know I'm recording a video. This is the first time that your voice has ever been on my channel before. And so whatever you want to say, you go ahead and say it, but make sure that you be careful what you say.
Am I on?
Yeah,
you're live on the channel right now?
You're live. Well, you're not live. I'm recording right now. And so if you want to say a little something and then I'll call you back, however you want to do it.
Okay. Well, perhaps you might want to ask me a question and I'll answer it.
Well, give my audience what your thoughts on what you believe is going to happen to XRP and Bitcoin prices over the next say year to 3 years.
Okay. Well, first off, I am the official father of the digital asset investor.
And you're the global economic advisor as well.
And the global economic advisor, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet your audience. I've approached cryptocurrencies very much like I used to day trade when I was in the stock market. And I always thought about value, and I thought about thinking logically. There were a lot of times that the brokers that I dealt with would get on their squawk boxes in the morning and speak with their master manager in New York City, and they would tell them what they were going to push for the day. It might be airline stocks, it might be steel stocks, or building stocks, or automotive stocks, or whatever. And then they would push that for the day. And then I would have my broker to call me. This was before they had the .com type trading where you could trade for $7 or $6 for a transaction. And
by the way, this is just me having a lot of experience what to say and not to say. Make sure you don't say any brokerage name or any of your or your broker's name.
I'm not going to mention anything about names or anything, but I will tell you that they would lead me in the direction of a particular stock, and in just about always I would stay away from it. Most of the time I did not listen to what the brokers had to say. I listened to what common sense had to say. And I was a value investor, and you could call me a contrarian investor. I would typically go against the grain. And that reminds me a lot of the type of market that we're in right now. I heard you refer on your channel to putting your big boy pants on. And basically that's what I've done all my life. I've gone against the grain and been a contrarian investor. Back then, if I could find a stock that was had a great price to value earnings, had a good PE ratio, had a good yield, where I could sit and hold it for a while, and the price to book was just maybe a 1.5 or less, then I would zero in on those type stocks and made a lot of money over the years as a day trader. In addition to being a builder and developer and other type things, I was in the textile business for a while and other type things, but we won't get into all that. So along comes my son, a digital asset investor, who I think is a really bright person, and they're proud of it. And we start talking about cryptocurrencies and start thinking logically about what's happening in the U.S. economy and the national debt and our ability to pay it off, and especially what's happening in today's economy in relation to the U.S. against the world. The price of gold, the price of silver, and the debt, and they're just printing money like crazy, and there's nothing to back it up. So digital assets really seem logical to me, and I've selectively bought over time. I've taken positions in Bitcoin and Litecoin and at one time Ethereum and Tron and all of these, but the one that made the most sense to me was Ripple, XRP. And the reason it did is it provided a vehicle for banks and other money institutions to move things faster and more efficiently at a much lower cost. And so I began accumulating. And to me, that has made a lot of sense. And I'm very much in agreement with my son, 100% in agreement with my son. I think the digital asset, Ripple, XRP, is the greatest digital asset that has come onto the planet for this day and time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I guess that's enough hearing from your father.
Well, you actually, we just did, I guess you'd call it an interview. It's the first time anyone has ever been on my channel, and so I'm sure people will get a kick out of this. So I'm gonna call you back later, but I'm gonna let you go. And you did a great job for the first time ever being on the air. But that's when you're the global economic advisor, this is no sweat for you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and perhaps maybe we will have some other discussions later on.
Sure. But I'll call you.
Take care, and we'll talk later about the main reason I was calling.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the first time I actually, when I hung up with him, I forgot for a split second that we were still recording. Okay, now you've heard from the digital asset investor's father. I want you to all let me know if that is something you want me to do more of as we go along in the future. I don't even know how that's going to sound, but we're going to go with it anyway. Okay, so now, David, this is what I was talking about. I just wanted to finish that thought. Back during the .com boom and bust, that's what happened. A lot of companies would put .com on the end of it, and then they would just, by virtue of that, the stock price would go up. And that's kind of what I see David Schwartz talking about here. Yeah, we had an ICO boom, and a lot of people just piled in, and a lot of people that weren't necessarily that honest came in, but that just clouded blockchain technology itself and the fact that blockchain technology is a big deal and it's here to stay. And that goes for Ripple and XRP. Okay, from Lionel at Lionel 462-94550 sent me this. MoneyGram partners with Agricultural Bank of Egypt to offer in-branch services. MoneyGram, a leading global money transfer company, today announced a partnership with Agricultural Bank of Egypt, one of the biggest agricultural banks in the Arab world and Middle East, to provide money transfer services at the bank's 1,210 branches throughout the country. Pretty darn awesome. Okay, I'm trying to go along fast. I didn't anticipate my dad calling in, and so this video is going to be a little bit longer than I thought, but that's okay. Crypto Wolf, IMF officials said that a synthetic central bank digital currency in which public and private sectors collaborate is the better option than a public CBDC. The world of fiat money is in flux, and innovation will transform the landscape of banking and money. And then this one, which I found was very interesting. ING Dutch Bank chief economist said fully fledged central bank digital currencies will be developed by central banks in just 2 to 3 years. A digital currency would allow banks to replace physical cash and move further into negative territory with interest rates. But this is what's interesting to me. Central bank digital currencies will be developed by central banks in just 2 to 3 years. And here's what I want you all to be thinking about when you think about that. Now, right now, we have approximately $219 billion in all of this. I want you to think about the trillions of dollars with all these central banks when they're brought online with digital assets. That all that means for you and me is that instead of this being $219 billion that our digital assets are sloshing around with, it becomes trillions of dollars that it's sloshing around with. We are in the pole position when it comes to what is coming online. You ought to feel really good about that. Okay, another XRP crypto will hit me with 3. SEC adopts new rules to level playing field for ETF providers to modernize how ETFs are brought to the market and regulated. It's aimed at simplifying rules governing ETFs and to speed up the process of launching new ETFs while reducing associated costs. Maybe we can get a Bitcoin ETF out of it, or XRP ETF. What if we got an XRP ETF out of nowhere before we got a Bitcoin ETF? Woo! That would cause like World War III, I believe. Brian Melancholy XRP at @MikeHoncho_11. The price when they criticized this from Rhythm Trader. The price when they criticized Bitcoin. Peter Schiff criticized at $17.50. Nero Rabini, $58. I don't even know how to say that name. $214. Warren Buffett, $634. Paul Krugman, $717. Jamie Dimon, $811. Ben Bernanke, $5,577. That's pretty interesting. Jonathan D at XRP_YD7. This is Christine Lagarde. Thank you, IMF staff, for 8 years of achieving a lot together. You're the brain and heart of this great institution. And then I got this from I Am Legion. He sent me this. MIT Media Lab cryptocurrency online short course. When MIT is doing coursework in digital assets and cryptocurrency, get ready, folks. And finally, Rob Licker has asked, he sent me this picture of this. He's got cinnamon and pumpkin, what did he call this? Pumpkin spice bulletproof latte, of course, with cinnamon. And he wants to be the official barista of the Digital Asset Investor channel. And now he has that title. I want you all to let me know if you enjoyed the Digital Asset Investor's official father and the global economic advisor for the Digital Asset Investor channel calling in. If you did, I will do more of those types of things as we go along. Thank you. I'm the Digital Asset Investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that the Digital Asset Investor's father called into the show today. Thank you for listening.